Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. I do these lives every week. I introduce new products. I show you how to use them. Oh, you can see the dogs in the background. Anyways, it's a beautiful day finally. We were smoked in here for the past little bit, so it's great. I'm enjoying the sun. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. This week, I have chosen to show you one of the new die sets that's in our annual catalog. It's called the Paper Florist dies. Lots of people might have missed them because they are not a set that go with a stamp set. So a lot of the times every year, if you go look in the die section of the catalog, which is towards the back, which I will show you once I flip you around, there's lots of standalone dies that you can use with any set or on their own. This one just happens to be a flower, like they're kind of like 3D flowers. You can make them flat, you can make them 3D, you can make them anything. Sky's the limits. I'm a little frustrated. I didn't get to play with them as much as I would have liked because they did not arrive till last night. So I have figured out a bunch of flowers, but not as many or not quite the ones that I wanted to figure out. So I might have to do a part 2 and show you a little bit more. I forgot to say, if you are watching live, please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. If you're watching the replay, I do try and check the comments. I also post this on YouTube afterwards. So if you're catching me there, I check those too. So feel free to comment or ask questions, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get turned around and then I can show you what the heck I'm talking about. I'll try not to turn you off as I'm getting you in the next little holder here. I gotta get a better setup. All right, that should be good. I don't know if we need the light, but we will turn it on just to make sure. All right, so let me just find you here so I can try and see comments. Perfect. All right, we are up and going. So these are my mess. I ran out of magnet sheets. If you've watched me before, I usually have my dies on magnet sheets. It makes life so much easier. I hate it when they're all bunched like this. And this is a really big set. It comes on 2 sheets with all these pieces and parts. So there's a little piece here. There's a couple in the case. There's petals. I'll just, once I'll put it on the black piece of paper so you can see in a second. I've pre-cut out a whole bunch of petals and leaves from this set just to play with. These are the colors I chose. Obviously, you can make any color combination. These are beautiful colors. So what is showcased on the back of our new annual catalog is they're using more than just the petal dies, but so the daisies are in here as well, but most of these are from this petal, what did I say it's called? I already forgot. Florist, Paper Florist dies. My goodness gracious. Okay, so they can be found here with the dies. So if you come to the back of the catalog, you get to detailed die cuts. So not the bundles, these are the new bundles. If you come to the back where we've got just the dies. So some of these are dies that do go with other stamp sets, but they're no longer bundled. Some of these are new. These are standalone dies. So a great thing to look for when a new catalog comes out is look for the little N. Look for the new, because those are all the new things that we haven't seen before. This is the Paper Florist dies. So here's all the pieces and parts. It can be found on page 165, but it also tells you, see the dies in use on page 33. So we saw some on the back of the catalog, but you can also, if you're curious to see what they kind of get a better idea of their size or maybe what they look like, you can see they're in there as well. So if you're wondering, that is where they can be found. So like I said, there's a bazillion different combinations and permutations you can do with these petals and flowers that are in the catalog. So I don't want to go crazy, and like I said, I haven't played with them that much, but I do have a bunch to show you. I'm still trying to figure out the best way for this one flower, but let's go through kind of the petals first that are in here. So we've got this one. Let's put the petals, not the branches. We've got these ones. We've got these ones and these. I was gonna say I'm missing some, and these ones, and I think that's mostly it for the, oh, this is a part of the flower as well. Eee, can't pick it up. And then we've got the well, I guess these are parts of the flower, but like the insides of the flowers. And then, so then we've got the circle, and we've got some more insides. So the center of the flower. Then we've got the kind of the, oops, there's even another one that I haven't used, teeny tiny, if you really want to get fancy. And then we've got our greenery. So we've got some leaves, different leaves. And then we've got these stems. These stems actually work with this one, and they become tulips, which is kind of cute. So I'll put that up here. Okay, so those are the dies that come in this die set. Then I'm gonna dump these. I'm gonna dump the dies because I gotta use this black sheet so you can see better as we work with the flowers. All right. See, like I said, they fall out of this slit, and I just don't like not having a magnet sheet. So hopefully I get some soon. All right, so we've got our black here where you can see better. We'll start with the simplest, the easiest of easy. So we've got our little tulip stems here, and then we've got our tulips, if I can grab them. Okay, and then you can notice they are slightly different sizes. So I don't think there's really a right or a wrong because they pretty much fit in them all. I just kind of put the biggest in the middle, the medium one on the right side, and this one looked the smallest to me, just eyeballing it. So that's kind of how and now I hadn't done this before, but this might actually be a great way of getting them glued on. So if you set them up and then just put a dab of glue on each of these stems, and then we will also gently turn it so I don't stick my head in the camera, and then you can just kind of stick them on. And oops, I got my paper a wee bit gluey, but that's okay. Then we've got our tulips. So here I had made one previously. We've got some pink tulips, so you can have all sorts of whatever you want kind of tulips. Next up, I will do these ones. This is the next simplest. So we've got two different size petals and then a center piece. This one was the 4, so it cuts out 2 of these and 2 of these all at once. Now, I have a tool here. It's not a Stampin' Up! Tool. It is actually a cake decorating icing tool. It is for flowers, but for icing. I picked it up back when we used to have the succulent flowers that could be made into kind of 3D flowers, and it really helps kind of round things quickly without too much work. And I just found it was really nice to use. Now, obviously, not everybody has that. You don't need it. You can just kind of fiddle it with your hand. You can take a bone folder and then you can, I would do this part regardless of if you're rounding the center or not, because you want your petals to have some shape to them if you're doing this 3D petals. I mean, the whole point of having these dies and cutting them out is so that you can give them some dimension. So as simple as that, you can put them together. You can use a glue dot, or you can use glue. I've lost my glue dots here. I think I need to shorten my strip. It's awfully long. Okay, so for this one, I'm only putting two dies, two die cuts. And then I'm gonna put this centerpiece on here. But since it's kind of hollowed out, I'm gonna pop this up with a dimensional. I'm gonna use the mini, just because it's a mini spot there. You could round this a little bit if you wanted it to have some shape too. I'm just gonna, well, maybe I should have taken off the dimensional. There we go. And then you've got a cute little flower. Now you probably want, you could put 3 sets of petals, you could put 4. I'm gonna do a 3 for you to show you the difference. I would add another bling in the center. You can add any of our embellishments that we have. I'm just trying to look for the ones I had out here. I don't know if we actually have a bubble bath pink embellishment at this point. I'm using this Fresh Freezer one. I find that these, what are they called? Gems pick up whatever color you put them on. So even though it was purple, it kind of picks up that pink and looks a little pinkish. I don't know if you can see that in the light. Okay, so that's using 2. If we were to use 3, so I've got 1 big one, 2 smaller ones, and then a different center, just to show you all the pieces. And you don't always have to go backwards with your petals. You can come forwards. So here I'm going to roll them forwards. But you definitely want to do, there's another way of adding dimension, not just curling your petals. You could add some color to your paper. You could start with white and use your blends, or your, you can use blends, or you can use a blender brush and add some color. You could add some color to this by using a blender brush. I will do it on another set of petals since these ones are already curled. Here I'm just going to use my glue. Since I'm all curled, it's harder to get those glue dots on. And then you really don't need a lot of glue. So I'm going to come slightly off of there. And then instead of coming like crisscross, I want it to be just slightly off of those smaller ones. Gives it a little more natural look, because you know, flowers aren't perfect. And then we can use this one in the center. Now again, you could pop it up or you can glue it down, whatever your preference is. Oops. And once again, I would add an embellishment. I cannot remember if these are in the new catalog. They were in the old one, or it might have been the mini. It was the right color. So pull out your old embellishments if you have them. I feel like these are in the new catalog. I'll have to check. But I feel like they continued on. So anyways, here's that same flower, one with the petals up, one with the petals down, one with only 2, one with 3. So it really gives kind of a different look of flowers. So if you were to do a bunch of different of the same, it actually makes for lots of different looks. Hello, Yolande. I am not a gardener. I do not know my flowers, so I'm not the greatest at being able to tell you what is what, or even making flowers that look like what they should look like. So we're just making flowers. Next, we have these kind of crosses or X's or whatever you want to call them, that you can make daisies out of. So there's, these are the smaller ones. There's larger, are there larger ones of these ones? I can't remember now. I know there's larger of there's a different one. So yeah, so there's small ones. These are the bigger crosses, X's. So there's smaller ones and there's bigger ones. These are the larger ones. And then there's this one that isn't, it's a whole other ball game. So to me, they both kind of look like daisies. One's more natural, whimsical. This one is, again, just different looks as you go. So easy peasy on this one. Again, you can do the glue. You can use as many, you could do something as simple as 3. I'm going to put 4 just to give it that extra oomph. And so you could just go crisscross, crisscross, applesauce, or you can go around your flower and just kind of stagger it as you go. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever works for you, whatever the look is. Just have fun. Okay, so there I've got my flower. And the nice thing with glue is you can kind of wiggle it around a little if you're not too happy with the way it's sitting. And then I'm just going to put a nice another cutout from the die set, my daisy center. There, I can name 1 flower. Oh, and 2 flowers, tulips and daisies. Pretty simple. All right, then we've got these ones. So these are the ones I said that are a little bit wonkier. They're not the perfect X. These are there's smaller ones and there's larger ones. These are the smaller ones because I realized I pretty much used up most of the big ones in making this flower. So I believe I used 1, 2, 3, 4 in this one as well. I used 2-tone in this. So I guess I'm going 2-tone again because I didn't have enough of, you'd have to cut out more of the flower. So again, the way I did this one was it has that wider the petals aren't symmetrical. So if you find that wider V where they meet, and then I just went and staggered them around again. Round and round and round we go. Where I stop? Ah! Nobody knows. Okay, and then voila. We have, so they look pretty similar, but not quite. I feel like this one might have been better with one less X on it. It looks a little too off somehow, but this one I like with the extra pieces. I didn't do a flower of that one, so hence I did not know what I liked ahead of time. And then we can put a little centerpiece there, and then we can put another embellishment if you want to get fancy. And there's another one. Obviously colors are completely up to you what color scheme you want to do. Oh, my comments disappeared. What's going on? Oh, okay, there they are. Hi. All right. Next up, oh dear, my flowers are all falling down. We'll do the easier of the two here. Okay, so this is the one I was saying I'm not totally happy with yet because I'm not exactly sure why or what these are for. So there is a slit in these petals, and they're obviously petals, and you can see them in the catalog, like here and here, and I'm not sure if they're elsewhere, but you can see them. And you know, you could kind of, it looks like you're supposed to cross them or they're supposed to go in something. I'm really not sure. If you have any ideas or you have this set and you've used it, let me know. So this first one I'm going to do is really simple. It doesn't look like these ones. To me, it reminds me more of maybe a peony. You probably could use even more petals than 6 if you really wanted to make it full looking. I mean, you could go really crazy with this and make some really cool, beautiful flowers. Just depends on how much time and energy and effort you want to put into it. So, like, you could, as you're putting them together, you can interlock them if you wanted to, but I don't think that that's kind of what it was meant to be. But anyways, that's what I did. I'm just going with it. And then I put a goop of glue, and I did the same thing here. Interlocked these, because there's, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of a line, so you can kind of see where to put it to line it up. And then we just want it offset there. And then we're going to put another goop of glue. Glue it all down. Put a nice centerpiece here. And then another, but this one I'm going to use, because when there's holes, the glue kind of oozes out of the holes. I'm going to use a dimensional. And then I've got kind of my, like I said, a peony would have a whole lot more petals, but you could keep going. Here's another one. This next one is the same, same petals again, but we're gonna make it more like this one where the petals go back, and you'll see I'm gonna try and overlap them a bit. So I don't want it curled like super tight. I just want kind of a loose bend here. And you can kind of loosen up the paper a little by running it through. I don't know if you guys have ever done, I don't know if I put it on video. I think it's in one of the earlier videos. Our paper is so nice and thick that you can run this both ways and it'll actually separate the paper, and you can tear it, and then you can have that faux suede look. I wonder what it would do with petals. It would probably look kind of cool. I'm not going to try it right now. Maybe after. So then I wanted to kind of do the old put them together. I tried with glue. I made an awful mess of my fingers. So I decided that glue dots are the best way to go, and the easiest. And then I'm just giving them a little bit, and you kind of want it, so you want this part to be flat and you want this part to come up. So I'm not sure. This is why I don't think I'm doing it right. Any thoughts? Any wisdom? Words of wisdom, please. Yolande, you're usually good at this stuff. Any advice? My comments disappeared again. So if you're commenting, I apologize. I can't see the comments. Oh. Why is it doing this? Maybe you guys are just being quiet. Hopefully that's what it is. Okay. So now we've got, you're probably wondering why. Why are you trying to do this? Now I will show you. So there is this piece that I showed you. It looks like the, what do you call it? Fringe piece that's in the birthday balloon suite that I showed last week, but it's for the center of the flower. You can see it here. So the easiest, again, way to do this, I have found, is to wrap it around like so. So all I did is put it on my little tool and then go with your glue. Now I did it again. I did this last time. You want to avoid putting glue on the first little bit, or else you will glue it to the tool. So that is not good. Then you're just going to take it and wrap it around. And you want to keep the bottom part tight, but the top can be loose. Yee. Had it in the wrong hand. I'm right-handed. And I stuck my hand in the glue again. Oh my goodness. I'm having a rough day. All right. I have lost so much sleep in the last couple weeks with the storms being back. Our oldest, largest dog does not do well in storms, no matter what anxiety, anything we've tried. I've tried the lightning jackets, the natural stuff, the music, anything natural. We've tried, I think, every drug possible, Prozac, Ativan, Lizette, like just everything, and it does not help her. So she's been waking me up every time we've had thunderstorms, and we've had a lot of thunderstorms. You probably haven't noticed them. You're not a flower expert. You're not a flower expert. I just thought you might know. You're a paper expert. I don't know, crafting expert. I anyways, so then I've got my, you could make this bigger if you wanted by adding another piece to it. So I did try, I wondered if there's a way of like sticking these into the piece as you go, but I couldn't figure it out. So you could glue it down like this, or up, I guess would be the word. Or you can glue it flat, like if you put your petals here and then put it flat and then just kind of raise these up as an option. So this is the one I made, and I glued the petals flat, and then I glued this down onto it and then raised it up. I don't think it would work well to go this way. I think it would be too upright. So let's just glue these together. The glue always takes a couple extra seconds to hold, which is why many people like it, because it is forgiving. But when you're trying to get something to shape or stick, you gotta just be a little more patient and let it kind of set a little bit. And then can lift these up. So you could, oh, it's not quite, it wasn't quite set. All right, I gotta leave it be. But you could add extra petals. Where are my petals? Let's see. We'll take some extra petals here. No, because then I can't put it. It'd have to go under. How many more petals do I have? I mean, I guess I could do it without coming up. So you can kind of get an idea what it would look like with more petals. Do they, yeah, they curl them back. I don't know how it doesn't show. I wish some of these things had tutorials. But in a way, it's fun to also solve the mystery and figure it out for yourself. Here's another example of that one. So these are just a few examples of what you can do. Obviously, there's the little and the big of this one. I only did the little one of this one. There's, there should be, let's see. Why couldn't I find any? Oh, here. Okay. So these ones are, would be nice if they were all the same color, but we will do, what did we end up saying? I think 3 probably would be ideal with these X's. Oh, there we go. I do have all the same color. Look at that. There. Yeah. What do you think? That's 3 versus 4. I'm thinking the 3. And again, oh, I forgot to show you. Oh, okay, I'll do it on these ones. I forgot to show you the other way to add some dimension to your flowers. Okay, so I'm going to take these. Oops. And I'm going to take, do I have a mini brush? The right color handy? Nope. All right, well, I'll use a larger one. And this, I believe, is Fresh Freesia. Take some of that. And then you can just come in and you could do the tips, or you could do the centers, or you could do just kind of a general, but it'll just kind of give it some extra color. You could come in with, if you wanted it to have more definition, you could take the next darker color, which would be Highland Heather. And then you could come in and try and be easier on these little petals with a smaller brush, which I didn't take out. Our little mini brushes, have you guys tried them? They're great. I have some out, just not in a purple. How do you guys do your brushes? Do you have like a color designation for each one? Do you wash them each time? I don't have enough to do every color, so I do try to wash them fairly regularly, but haven't been that great at it lately. I'm getting lazy. All right, so then you can, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I have my black here, that doesn't help. The tips are a little bit darker than the paper. I don't know if you can really see. Oh, it's not focusing. Anyways, then when you put it together, so again, you can do your rounded tips if you want to add even more dimension. We don't want flat daisies. I like them to be a little popped up. Ooh, what happened here? A big gob of glue. There we go. Okay. And then we can do the crisscross, or we can go around. I don't know what, let's try the crisscross and see how that ends up. Except for that doesn't work because I didn't offset it. See, this is what happens, but maybe I can move it a little with the glue. There we go. Okay, there. Then we have our daisy, and we need a nice, ooh, we can use, oh, that one's not open. Where's my open one here? A nice little, I don't know, do we need the big one? Maybe. A nice embellishment with our, whoopsie. With our daisy. So it has a bit more texture to it than just the plain paper. So you could do that to all of these where you're adding a little bit more texture to your paper with adding some color to the tips and stuff. So hopefully, if you guys hadn't, you wipe them on a baby wipe. Oh. But does the color stay once you wipe it on the baby wipe? I thought it would just be wet, and then when it dries, it just dries clear. No? That's brilliant if it doesn't. Oh, I forgot to show you all the leaves and parts. You need all the greenery. So then we've got these beautiful leaves with all the stitches, which is nice. And we've got these leaves, which are cute. And then we had this, oh, I did cut some extras, but these weren't from the set. These are from the daisy set, because, you know, it just adds a little bit more bling to your life. I did make one card. I'll just show it because I already showed you how to make the flowers. I haven't put a sentiment on it yet. I was just getting the flowers made. Like I said, I did not have enough time to play with this set that I would have liked to. I'm going to keep playing with it and see if I can come up with even better better ways to make flowers. I think there's a ton of potential here. I just have to figure it out. And if you guys figure it out, tag me, let me know. I would love to hear if you've made other flowers or you have tricks to making paper flowers. Let me know. You wipe it really well to clean it. Oh, you wipe the brushes. Got you. I was thinking you were saying you were wiping the paper. Oh my goodness. Okay, my brain is just like, whoo. Oh, and I wanted to point out, so this is another thing that finally came. It's the new, they got rid of our old brick embossing folder, but they did come up with a new one. And it's kind of cool. Oops, I'm dropping everything. It's called the Exposed Brick, but it has kind of like a vintagey, rustic, like partially plastered over or something. So it kind of gives it that nice rustic look. I thought it looked nice with that. And I wanted to play with the new embossing folder. All right. Ugh. Well, hopefully that was, maybe you discovered something that you hadn't seen in the catalog. Like I said, I always like to show something new. Yeah, well, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. And I'm pretty sure I'm here next week, as far as I know. And yeah, so hopefully we'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your week. I've got grad this weekend for my middle one. So I gotta go find a dress. All right, take care. Bye.